This is the only one of those 6 known to still exist. This boat may have smuggled alcohol during the Prohibition. Welcome to the August Classic Boat Show brought to you by Lake Lanier Classic Boaters Group. Starting off, we have a couple of Donzis. This is a 32-foot Forrest Johnson Prowler named Prowler with twin 454s, each putting out 350 horsepower. This very boat was purchased brand new on Lake Lanier in 1974. Here we have a 10-foot aluminum boat that is very similar to a manufacturer called Feathercraft, and it was riveted together much like an airplane, very professionally done, and it has a classic Johnson 10 horsepower. The Sea Queen is a 30-foot standardized cruiser built in 1928 by Vic Franck. This style of boat, known as a Dreamboat, was brought to market in the 1920s from the designs of 15 Coast Guard cutters ordered to chase Prohibition-era smugglers. The style became very popular in the late 1920s on Lake Union in Seattle due to the enclosed pilot house and standing room below. These were some of the very first standardized boats, or today what we would call a production boat. Unfortunately, the factory that made this boat burned after finishing only 6 examples. This is the only one of those 6 known to still exist. This boat may have smuggled alcohol during the Prohibition, and yet here it is on Lake Lanier almost 100 years later. This is an EliteCraft Sportsman, which is a 19-foot fiberglass, kind of a recreation of an old-school CorrectCraft. This one has a 351 Ford Windsor motor, as well as a pylon and aft-facing spotter seat for skiing. This 1972 CorrectCraft Mustang is appropriately named Kermit. Also at the show was Gumby. This classic wooden CorrectCraft has a big block 427 Ford engine. This would have been the same kind of 427 that Carroll Shelby used. It doesn't get much more classic than a 1940 CorrectCraft Riviera. And yes, the Brightwork really is that beautiful in person. Although this boat was built in 2015, it still earns plenty of respect among the Lake Lanier Classic Boaters Group for its company history and classic looks. The Atlanta company, AristoCraft, was founded in 1946 after its founder returned from World War II. You can buy a boat from them today in Dawsonville, Georgia, not far from Lake Lanier. One of the newest classic boats to Lake Lanier is this 1966 Lyman Cruisette. It was just picked up by Bob and his wife Wendy. Special thanks to Bob for hosting these events and bringing together this group of classic boats and friendly boaters. If you'd like to know more about classic boats on Lanier, you can find the Lake Lanier Classic Boaters Group on Facebook or come to one of the monthly shows at one of Lake Lanier's waterfront restaurants. You might find us there too, admiring some of these classic beauties. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, please leave us a comment and hit the subscribe button.